Today is the 22nd of February, 2016, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And we're glad you're there on this Monday with us, and that means, let's see, today's Monday, that means tomorrow is another day. Anyway, we'll look at that when we get to it, okay? Glad you're with us. Today being the 22nd of the month, this is the day that is celebrated as George Washington's birthday. Not President's Day, that was last week. Today is the day that is celebrated as George Washington's birthday. Now, on the calendar when he was born some years ago, it didn't say February 22nd, but I won't even get into that. That's a long story, and it's a little weird, but it's funny, but I won't get into that.
Just go ahead and tell it.
I'll go ahead and tell it then. It seems that on the calendar, on that day when George Washington was born, it was February 11th. During the course of time, the calendar changed. It went from one calendar to the other. It went from Julian to Gregorian, or was it the other way around? Anyway, what happened is that they determined that because of we were actually losing time because of the leap year. They all thought that the year was 364 days or 365 days or whatever, but instead it was actually 364 and 3/4 or something like that. So they decided every 4 years to have a makeup day, and a makeup day would be February 29th and have an extra day during the year, making it 366 days. So what happened in the meantime is they figured out, we're 11 days off on this thing because farmers, of course, planting by the moon kept coming up at the wrong time after years and years and years of the wrong calendar. So they all decided, well, we're going to get rid of 11 days. So they absolutely took the calendar and took 11 days off and threw them away. Boy, people were upset. There were riots in the streets of the colonies. Of course, we weren't a country back then, but these were the colonies back then. And I think the year was 1756 when this happened. So anyway, the bottom line is that Washington was actually born on the calendar. His calendar said February 11th. They changed it, and a lot of people did this. They changed it later on. They added 11 days to whatever their birthday was, as he did, and made it February 22nd. So that's the way it is.
That was the history story.
That's your history story for today. You can take that and with $18 buy a cup of coffee somewhere. All right, today is also Be Humble Day. It's also Walking the Dog Day. You ever heard of Rufus Thomas? Rufus Thomas was a rock and roller some years ago, had a song called Walking the Dog, oh yeah. Anyway, that was Rufus. International World Thinking Day. Here you go. No, wait a minute. It's actually the right elbow on the left leg. Ow. It's also International World Thinking Day. I thought about it. There have been some who questioned why I was wearing a cast a couple of weeks ago, including Cliff out at the kangaroo station. They were wondering why I had a cast on my left hand. The long story is boring. The short story is the fact that I broke a finger. I broke one of my fingers because going up the steps here at the courthouse one day, she pushed me into the wall. Well, that's not true either, no. I stumbled on the steps, going up the steps, and fell into the wall and hit the handrail, right?
Yes.
I hit the handrail and broke my finger, and the rest of it is all that stuff. So anyway, doctor put a cast on it up to my thigh, and there's the story. Anyway, after a short while, he took the cast off and wrapped it with tape and said, exercise that thing and make it work. So you can see it's doing pretty good. You know what? I don't have any tape on it right now, so never mind.
It must be okay then.
Yeah, but don't tell anybody. Okay, here's today's trivia question. Category, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is meat. That's the category for today's trivia question. Picture, okay, I won't do this. That would give it away though. Which meat was given the ad campaign slogan, the other white meat? There's a lot of people in Wayne County know the answer to that. I just gave part of the answer away. I didn't give part of it away. I gave a good clue, though. The other white meat. It was an ad campaign some years ago. All right, real quick, what do you have?
The Board of Elections is still looking for poll workers.
Workers of the poll.
The primary is coming up, so they're needing poll workers. And you contact the Board of Election, which is 731-1411.
That's right. Is that it?
That's it.
That's it for now. All right, we're going to take this break. We'll go to our interview, and we will be back. Jessica, we have moved to the other side of the yard here, and our homeowner has dug 2 holes.
Yes.
Now, these holes are to be filled with what?
We're going to put 2 blueberry bushes in there.
All right. Now, what's the difference in the why? How wide do these holes need to be for this? This is a gallon bucket here.
Well, these it's pretty much basics with any tree or shrub that you're looking at. A little bit wider and about twice as wide, and you want it only deep enough that that top is going to be at the ground surface or a little slightly above.
So that gallon bucket is about 9 inches across, and so that means you need to be about 1.5 feet wide
Yes.
on your hole here.
Right.
And the same depth as the bucket is as deep.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Because you don't want your plant to come above below.
That's right. You don't want it
soil line.
end up too deep. Yes.
Okay. Now, what do we have here?
We've got 2 different kinds. With blueberries, they put them in 2 groups. They put them either as high bush or rabbit eye. And rabbit eye are a little, for most times for homeowners that are just getting started, they're a little easier to deal with. They're more suited for different soils in eastern North Carolina. Your high bush does well in eastern North Carolina too. Doesn't do as well as the other regions in North Carolina because it likes sandier soil, so it's more suited for here. So it's 2 different types. Your high bush, you're looking at varieties like Legacy, Duke, O'Neill.
And what about the rabbit eye?
Okay, for rabbit eye, you're looking at varieties like Tiff Blue, Powder Blue. I think there's Premier, so there's several different varieties there.
Okay.
And some of it's just a preference, but like I said, if you're just getting started, rabbit eye might be the easier one to go with, but a lot of people use different kinds.
The end result on these, will these grow about the same height, width?
Usually, I want to say that the rabbit eye actually gets a little taller than your high bush, despite the name. But there's not a big major difference usually between them.
When will these be fully grown?
They're going to take a few years to get fully grown. The first 2 or 3 years, what you're looking at is just trying to get the roots developed. So one of the recommendations after planting is you can take off some of these flower buds if you want to. That's hard for people to do because they want blueberries the first year.
Yeah,
but
not a good idea, right?
Well, you're better off if you can take off some of those flower buds, just rub those off, because it's going to cause the plant to put its energy back into the root system the first year instead of into the flowers and fruit.
Now, this is the same thing we talked about with the tree over there.
Yes.
The root system is the key. That is the important part.
It is. It's going to pay off in the long run to get the root system better established first.
Okay.
You're actually, research and so forth shows that you're going to end up with better yield down the road with that stronger root system than if you try to catch that yield early on.
So you want to concentrate on making the roots stronger the first year.
Yes, you do. So that's rubbing off some, those flower buds. Really, the recommendation is rub off almost all of them. But for a lot of people, like I said, that's hard to do because they want to see some flowers, they want to see some fruit. Well, so, rubbing off a few to reduce the number can help even.
Okay, well, he's not looking, so, so I'm just...
yeah, there you And then the other thing, after planting, these are in pretty good shape as far as being pruned, about 2 or 3 canes.
That was fun.
But you could take off some of the little branches at the bottom. You could take some of those off, but a little bit of pruning or cutting the size down a little bit can also help.
Okay. After we plant them today.
Yes.
And rub these off here.
Yes.
We leave it alone.
Yeah, you can prune it back
Prune
a
it
little
back
bit,
a little.
And but otherwise leave them alone. You don't want to put fertilizer in the hole with them; it'll burn the roots.
Okay.
You want to put the native soil back. You can mulch around them, and really, then you don't have much to worry about. We'll mention blueberries like acidic soils. So if you're not sure about your soil pH, you might want to get a soil test before you plant them. They like a pH of 4 to 5, which is very low compared to other plants. But we have a lot of acidic soils in our area, so it's might be a good chance that you're in that ballpark. But get a soil test and get it checked, and adjust that before you plant.
All right.
If you need to lower it, you're looking at using sulfur to lower the pH some if you need to. But a lot of times people can fall in that range if the soil's not had lime on it.
You mentioned soil test. The soil test by Raleigh by the Ag Department,
Yes.
is not free at this moment.
Not at this moment.
But will be soon.
It will be. It will be. It ends at the end of March, so the 1st of April, then
Okay.
you're looking at a free soil test.
Because that's a little late. Isn't that late to be planting shrubs?
It would be. So that's something, if you're looking at getting a soil test to plant blueberries, and you want to do the soil test first, then you'd want to maybe wait and plant next year and get the soil test this year to get your soil ready.
Unless you want to go ahead and pay for the soil test, which
That's
is,
true.
do you know how much that is?
It's $4 per sample.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it's probably just go ahead and pay the $4 and get your soil
that's
test
true.
done.
Yes.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, well, let's get Mr. Jackson in here to go ahead and put the, what's his name? Oh, yeah, Johnson, Mr. Johnson in here to go ahead.
It's all going to get cut out.
No, it's not. No. Okay. By the way, we might mention it's in the mid-30s and the wind's blowing like crazy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's a little bit chilly out here right now.
A little bit chilly.
Yes, sir.
A little bit rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now, Jessica, as he's removing this, what does he need to do to the bottom? Does he need to score the...
He does need to break up those roots and to loosen them up. If you just put it in the ground as it was out of the pot, those roots are going to keep growing in that circle and not spread out. And a lot of people are fearful to do that. They're afraid they're breaking the roots. It's perfectly okay. There's plenty of roots there. It's better to loosen them up and encourage them to grow out.
Okay, so it doesn't hurt them to break them up?
No, it
then.
doesn't.
Okay.
No, not
So
at all.
Just break them up because they are at times a bit compact.
Yes, yeah, and those have a strong root system.
Yeah.
There's a lot there, so you've got plenty to work with, loosen them up.
Okay. All right. Now I've seen people put a little mound in the bottom of the hole and then indent the root ball.
Could a lot of times with bare root, people do that where you've got bare root, but the center's kind of open of that root system. You could mound it up a little and then let those roots sit on top of that mound and then work around it.
Now he's adding a little soil back to the hole there.
Yeah, to kind of increase that level.
Bring it up a little bit.
Right.
How much pressure should he be applying to around the...
Should be applying some, just mostly to get the air pockets out of it.
Air
yeah,
pockets out,
because
okay.
you don't want to end up, and what'll happen if those air pockets is you end up with holes there that eventually sink down. So,
All right, that's a good height above the ground.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. All right, he's finished putting it in the ground, and now he's going to rub these little growths off.
Yeah, what you
here.
can do, and I'll let the homeowner choose whether he wants to do it or not, but you can rub those flower buds off. And the other thing you can do is prune they say about a third of it, so you're cutting it back again to encourage the root system versus the top this year. And but you can cut it back a little, or even some of these that are just little sprigs coming there, you can cut back a little bit.
Yeah, that's close to the ground there, and
Right.
it won't hurt a thing if it's cut off.
Yeah, you could cut some of those off the base, but besides that, then again, watering, mulching, typical things you do with trees and shrubs. And
How
that's it.
thick will that end up getting right there?
They'll end up to be pretty good sized shrubs.
All right.
It takes a few years, but they will get there eventually.
These is the same thing here, right?
Yeah,
are
I'm not
blueberries.
sure about. Yeah, they are blueberries.
And these were planted last year, so
they're a year ahead.
a year ahead. Okay,
Yep.
very good. Thank you.
Yes.
My guest is a dear friend of mine, and we haven't talked in years, but here's Dr. Ed Wilson. I might present him. And thank you so much for being with us
Glad
this morning.
to be here, Wayne.
Ed, it's always great to see you.
Good to see
Thanks
you
for
as well.
coming in. You're a busy man.
Well, we stay involved with the community service, and grandchildren and traveling, so it stays pretty busy, yes.
Always very active with the chamber, you have been.
Yes, I have been.
And as a result of that, you are now the chairman of the Wayne Education Network.
Correct.
What is the Wayne Education
Wayne
Network?
Education
What is it?
Network is a program that's sponsored by the Wayne County Chamber, and it's one of their major committees. And what we do is work to promote the public schools, private schools, homeschoolers in Wayne County. It's all about education, and we do a bunch of different activities each year.
And is it funded? Is it?
Well, actually, you've heard our Dancing with the Stars
Yes.
of Wayne County. Well, that's our fundraiser for the year.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to dance, let us know. Just call us at the chamber, and we'd be glad to sign you up.
That's 734-2241.
He's got it.
Just thought I'd throw it out there.
That's
real
good.
quick.
That's good.
All right, but now what brings you to us today? What's going on?
We have 2 great activities next week. On Tuesday, we have our career fair,
Okay.
and that's for 8th graders. Basically, that used to be for 7th. We moved it to 8 at the principal's suggestion, because what we're trying to do is to get these kids some ideas about what careers are available, what jobs are available here in Wayne County, what kind of pay is involved, and what kind of education you need to be able to perform that job.
Now, these are basic questions that any youngster looking for employment, looking for a career, would be asking.
Yes.
These things that people want to know.
And then after in the 9th grade, they're in a track. If they're going to be, let's say, in allied health, then they go through certain courses. If they're going to be in the vocational areas, machinists, welders, that kind of thing, they're going to be in another program track, which prepares them for that career. So we'll have about 1,500
Wow.
8th graders through there between 8 and 2 on
And is
Tuesday.
this at the Family Y?
This is at the Family Y, and we could not do it without them. That is the only venue in town that can handle that large group, and hopefully down the road we might have another venue in town that will give us some more space.
Well,
But,
we're looking at that too.
we are looking at that as well.
Okay, at the Family Y, Tuesday, I believe that's the 23rd.
23rd from 8 until 2.
All right.
And that's we have over 65 different companies or groups. Now, of course, Wayne Community College, Mount Olive College, or University of Mount Olive, I can't quite got that right.
I understand.
But they have programs there for the kids to look at, and some of the careers that maybe we don't have employment here are there. And then we have 65 vendors that are in, displaying their particular industries. And one of the highlights is the drug dog out at the base. The kids love the drug dog. They bring the drug dog there. And also, one of the funeral homes has a casket there, which is another interesting thing.
I hope it's empty.
Yes, it definitely is empty.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure we understood that.
And then on Wednesday, we have our STEM fair.
The 24th.
24th, that's again from 8 to 2. We'll have about 1,500 7th graders
Wow.
there for that particular event. And we have 3 things going on with that. We have student competitions. We also have business and industry people that are in the STEM, which is science, technology, education, and math fields. And then we have student exhibitors. And this is really, I wish you could see their kids to me, but young people demonstrating some of the stuff that they do with robotics and all of that.
Student exhibitors.
Students, 7th grade student, 7th and 8th grade
So that's
student
13,
exhibitors.
14, 15-year-olds
Yes.
in that age group.
Yes, a couple of county commissioners were by last year, and
Yeah.
they saw that, and they said, well, these kids just reinforce my faith in this younger generation because they do some incredible things. What we're trying to do there, obviously, is to try to promote STEM programs, promote kids going into those areas, because that is where the jobs are. That's where the high-paying jobs are. And so we're trying to recruit them into those particular fields. And the overriding consideration for both of the programs is that's the age that kids decide or begin to decide whether they're going to go on to high school and finish and graduate, or whether they're going to drop out or not. So the principals, middle school principals, we asked them what we could do for them. It's back 5 or 6 years ago when we started, and said, what we really need is a career fair. So we jumped right on it, and it's grown every year. This is going to be our largest one, and we rotate kids through, and it's just been, and the support for from business and industry has been incredible.
I can imagine. That's fantastic. And 17, 18, several hundred children, young adults, or youngsters all at one time going through.
Well, 1,500 both days.
1,500 both days.
Yes.
Wow. That's
it's an incredible thing. And if you're a member of the Y and you're going to walk around the track, you can do that both days and see what's going on downstairs.
Because that's where it is. It's in the gymnasium there.
Yes, it is.
And that's a big room anyway, so yeah, a lot of people can walk around that track and see what's going on.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well, I guess we'll just have to be out there. How's that?
That'd be fine. Love to see you. I understand you are going to be there, so thank you for doing that.
Well, happy to do that, and happy to bring a camera with us. We're going to record and videotape some of the goings-on.
Well, that's
And let
fantastic.
people see that.
Good.
Dr. Ed Wilson, anything else you want to add to us here?
Well, no,
We covered about everything.
we appreciate the support of the chamber to make this happen, and we support, all our community partners have been just wonderful for this, and
I know the base is involved with
Oh
this.
yes, that's exactly. Thank you for mentioning that. Thanks to some of our colleagues out, Stu Cox in particular, who was out at the base. Stu's helped us get some things. The kids like the guys that are pilots that have their helmets, and they show them how all this stuff works.
Yeah.
And so it's a real interesting thing. It's surprising how few kids who live in this community have ever been on the base, and I was flabbergasted when I heard that, but that gives them an opportunity to see the careers that are in the Air Force, and we have a bunch of those folks involved too.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Well, Dr. Ed Wilson, Chairman of Wayne Education Network, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure too.
Thank you. And we are back on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Thank you for being with us. We're here every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We hope you're able to join us. Word from Tracy Williams at the Arts Council. Tracy, Traycee at artsinwayne.org if you ever want to contact her. The Arts Council of Wayne County holding several open model calls with the dates yet to be announced. I think we have Javon talking about those here coming up pretty soon with us. But for those interested in participating in the upcoming Art of Fashion Showcase. Woo. Showcase taking place April 23rd at a location yet to be announced. They're still trying to find a location. The last time they had this was at the Terrace Room, and they were just swamped with attendance. So they're looking for a place a little bigger than that because they expect a lot of people to show up again. It features fashion apparel and jewelry from more than a dozen local independent designers and stores. Now, selected models may represent one or more lines. Ages 4 and older are all eligible, male and female. All shapes and sizes are encouraged to attend. No experience is necessary. A professional runway coach will be on hand to train all participating models. Qualified applicants must have a positive attitude. You don't want to get up there and kick somebody now, okay? Just be open to wearing unique looks from showcasing designers and be available to attend both a mandatory practice and dress rehearsal. Final dates to be announced. All models must attend fashion show practice and dress rehearsal in order to qualify to be in the show. If you want information, Tracy Williams is the person to which you may speak, and her web address or her email address is Traycee, Traycee at artsinwayne.org. That sounds like a lot of fun.
If you're a model.
Yeah, or even if you're not. See, the whole thing here is that whether you're a model or not, you can still do this because they're looking for all people. Just go and have fun. The only thing is that you're just required to be at 2 sessions, practice sessions and rehearsal sessions, okay?
So that means you can go.
No, I'm going to be busy that day. Look, I got to wash the cat. I got to buy shoelaces. My hubcaps need polishing. I got all kinds. I'm a busy guy. Anyway, coming up on March 4th, also at the Arts Council, pick up an art walk map and an art walk passport and walk art. No, art does not need walking. We're talking art. Start your art walk journey at any of the participating businesses listed on the map and visit them in any order you prefer. Get your passport stamped at each of your stops, and then once you've completed your art walk, bring your passport to the Arts Council of Wayne County at 102 North John Street in Goldsboro, NC, USA, here on Earth, no later than 8:45 p.m. March 4th. You will be then entered to win a $100 gift certificate to the Arts Council's Art Market. If you want more information, call the folks over at the Arts Council at 919-736-3300. 919.
That's a good exercise.
It is a good exercise. 919-736-3300 because you get to walk around town to all these businesses looking for at the art in these businesses, and then you might end up winning
$100.
a gift certificate.
That's right.
Fantastic. All right, here's the answer to today's trivia question. The category was meat. Which meat was given the ad campaign slogan, "The other white meat"? Aaron Copland's Rodeo played in the background as Robert Mitchum spoke across your television screen that time when they were playing the PSAs about the other white meat. It was pork. The other white meat. Because a lot of people, when people say white meat, they're talking about chicken. Usually about chicken. But pork is also a white meat. Okay, but that was the answer to the trivia question. I bet a lot of people got that one too. Well, there's 2 people watching right now, so I bet both of those people got it. Okay, maybe 3.5. We have, today's the 22nd, and there are blood drives going on all the time, but I have March's schedule here, March the 3rd at the Grantham School in Goldsboro. Grantham School in Grantham, of course, at 1:30 in the afternoon, goes till 6 on March 3rd, okay? What do you have there, ma'am? Anything at all?
No.
Are you done?
I'm done.
We're done. So that's it. That's a wrap for today. We'll be back in here again Tuesday, which happens to be tomorrow by coincidence. So we hope you're able to enjoy your afternoon. We will enjoy ours. And we hope you're able to join us right here again tomorrow, which happens to be Tuesday. We did that, didn't we? Yeah. Okay. So until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.